Yeah, I guess this is my man cave is what you would call it. This is a tough vehicle right here. Yeah, I was just, strolling through eBay, and I was actually sort of looking for something, but this was a major find for me, that figurine. For want of a better term, it's a doll, but that doesn't sound real masculine, so I call it a figurine. One of the differences in this doll versus the way it was in the Marine Corps is in the Marine Corps. This is a utility uniform, and this has USN on the pocket. That's not the way it is. It had USMC with the globe and anchor printed on that pocket. We didn't really wear leggings like this during the Vietnam War, as far as I know. But this shows the corpsman with his utility belt, which we showed you a while ago. Got your helmet, your pack. This is the USN medical kit that you carry out into the field in combat. So I got that, and I got to thinking, well, you know what? This might be kind of fun to start a collection of Vietnam era specific weapons, tactics, ships. The Vietnam era went from 1960 to 1975. These models are, I would say, probably between 1964 and 1970 would be the time frame for most of these models. Now, the interesting thing is, a lot of this equipment, they might produce an M16 rifle. The initial original rifle, what they need to do is send it out into the field and have the Army or the Marines test them, and then bring them back and do modifications to hopefully improve the performance of the weapon. On these helicopters, for instance, you have a lot of different variations. You have a Marine Corps helicopter, an Air Force helicopter, a Navy helicopter. They're all a little bit different, but like the Huey manufactured by Bell, they're all the same, but they're a little bit different pertaining to whatever service it is. Basically, all of these models came off the internet. A lot of them are made in China, and I'll have to hand it to the way they were made over there. They were quite well detailed. This is called the steel pots, made out of steel, and this is what protects you. This thing here is called a liner. It's got your webbing and all of this. This is not going to protect anything. You have to have this in here. In a short description of this gun, this thing is extremely deadly, okay? This is a Browning machine gun M2, which stands for Ma Deuce. You load the machine gun this way, and you pull this thing back to put a round in the chamber. This bullet goes in this gun. I kept ordering them and ordering this and that, and my wife finally goes, "Man, you're out of room. I don't think you're going to be able to get any more models in this space over here without really cluttering it up." Okay, the next item is a United States Marine Corps M48A3 Patton II tank. These are two machine guns. This is a 50 caliber, this is a 30 caliber. This tank has no rubber wheels or any of that. It's driven by this track, and this track rolls over these wheels, and the track moves the tank forward or backward. Now, the way you turn a tank is going straight. These tracks are both moving at the same time. If you wanted to turn the track, if you wanted to turn the tank to the left, what you would do is stop this track. This one keeps going, so it gradually turns the tank this way. If you wanted to go the other way, you would stop this track on this side. This one would keep going, and you would eventually turn the tank to the right. So that's the way a tank like this is steered. Now this is another rifle, and I haven't taken this out of the package, but this rifle is called an M14. This rifle replaced the old M1 that was used by everybody in previous two wars. This, pretty darn good rifle, but it's somewhat unstable on fully automatic. All right, this is a schematic of that hand grenade. And without going into any great detail, that's the arm and that's the ring. Your explosive material is right in here. Now, lining this hand grenade is a series of metal coils, and they are serrated every so often. If you didn't have these serrations, this whole piece may come out at one time. What this does, it enables the metal to break up a whole lot easier, and that produces much more shrapnel, and it's lined on both sides with this serrate. It's actually it's gouged out basically, but that's what makes these things really dangerous, and that's why they work so good. This is called an AK-47. This is used today by the Islamic terrorists in the Middle East. It's used in armies all over the world. It's a pretty well-built weapon, and the way it works, you can move that back and forth. It's a 30-round magazine. It's fed this way, and when you fire, the bolt goes back and reloads another shell. The name AK-47, this is what that stands for. It was actually invented by a Soviet engineer back in 1947. His name was Mikhail Kalashnikov. And the AK-47 means this. The A stands for automatic, which like a machine gun. Automatic Kalashnikov, AK, automatic Kalashnikov. AK-47 is when the gun was basically invented. Yeah, in fact, over here there's 5 different model airplanes. They're all different. They all have their unique characteristics. They all have variations as far as the number of bombs they can carry. They tell me that this was the most feared weapon in Vietnam. This is a B-52 heavy bomber. There's machine guns in the tail of this aircraft. This holds 70,000 pounds of bombs. This thing is called an A-1 Skyraider, and it's a piston-driven airplane instead of a jet. This was used in the early part of the Vietnam War. The interesting thing about this is a 2-pilot cockpit. The pilots sit side by side, which is pretty unusual. I really enjoy having veterans or anybody really that want to come in and look at what I've collected, because it has been so much fun. It took me a little over a year to collect all of this stuff. Of course, I wasn't in any big hurry, but getting all of this material together and explaining to my guests about it like I'm doing today is just really fun.